From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
and this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant, proudly presented by Zaxby's Indescribably Good. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Use that promo code WARCHANT30 for 30 free days of access. Strong column alert by Ira Schofel over on Warchant.com. Check it out. Calls this perhaps the most cohesive staff at Florida State in nearly 20 years. Man, we're back, Corey. I mean, not just you and I doing a podcast. Florida State is back. If you're scared listening to this podcast, if you're nervous, if you're fearful, and there's some of you are, you've commented on Ira's column with, okay, fine, I think I'll start believing now. It's late. It's too late. It's too late. Don't be scared. Florida State's back. Let's go, Corey.
Hey, you know what? Don't be a fan later.
Don't.
I can tell you that much. You need to be a fan now when they haven't proven anything. Don't wait and see. You jump in for feet first with blindfolded.
Yeah.
That's what our man Ira's doing.
Yep.
All of a sudden, it's Mark Richt and Bobby Bowden around here. If we're talking about 20 years ago. I see his point, and it is true. It hasn't been the most functional offensive staffs ever since Mark Richt left. Even when Jimbo, it wasn't all that functional. Jimbo being the OC and the head coach in waiting, but not really a head coach. He wasn't second in command, so that was a bit of a cluster. Man, I get fired up every time I think about this coaching staff and the potential they have. Again, haven't seen it though. So I pump the brakes a little. I don't go full steam downhill like Ira on a roller coaster almost. I guess. I pump the brakes a little bit. I'm a little more cautious. I don't throw my hands in the air at the top of a roller coaster. I kind of grip the thing in front, the handrail in front of me. But I'm still along for the ride, and I hope it's fun. Right now it seems fun. Right now these guys seem to know exactly what they're doing, and I'm fired up about it. And we are, fired up just to be Deion Sanders away from football, man. Clifton Abraham.
Yeah, there we
Samari
go.
Roll.
There we go. That's right.
I don't know. There's got to be some other twos in there.
I can't think of another two in the last 15 years, man.
Yeah, it kind of disappeared after Clifton Abraham. But still, those are some good ones. Deion and Clifton and Samari Roll. Those are good Those are good twos. And it's crazy that we're here. We got to talk to some defensive players today, and our man Robert Cooper, Aslan.
Yeah.
Tell the folks about our man Robert Cooper. Big hulking defensive tackle, but not as big as he used to be. Not even close.
Yeah, we used to call him Big Coop, but Big Coop weighed probably 390 pounds. But Big Coop now is down to 330, and it's because he's been really disciplined, and he's really watched what he's had. So we got to speak to him, Corey, and I pretty much asked him, I'm like, yo, Coop,
Coop, you've been really disciplined this season. If you guys were to win on Saturday, are you going to have a cheat day and treat yourself to anything?
Yeah, I might throw a little chicken in my salad, but other than that, no, I'm good.
Robert, I think next year you could get an endorsement. Is there a certain chicken you want to throw in your salad if you win on Saturday?
Actually, there's no specific one, but I know I'm gonna have a little grilled chicken in there. Probably head to Zaxby's to get that.
my man.
That's our guy. I don't know if he knows. I don't know if he knows what's going on there. I don't know how much he helps the brand. But that's big time, baby. That's big time, and I'm with him. The grilled chicken at Zaxby's, don't sleep on that either. I know the fried chicken, everybody gets excited about that, and with good reason. But the grilled chicken's pretty darn tasty too now.
Yeah, man. Coop's the dude.
Yeah, I like him a lot. It's a lot of Again, I talked about this last year and the year before how it wasn't a likable team, not because they were jerks. We just didn't know them. But you listen to Cam McDonald and Robert Cooper and all of them, the punter. I shouldn't say all of them, but many of them just seem like good guys that you want to root for.
Absolutely.
And Robert Cooper is certainly one of those guys, man. He's a pretty big, lovable dude that apparently could be a wrecking ball on the defensive line, along with a few other guys.
In a bit of an unrelated note, but just to have this on your radar, everybody, Warchant TV's branching out. We're going to be hosting the Jeff Cameron, ESPN. Actually, I don't even know how to really put this, but basically Jeff Cameron's pregame show is going to be on our YouTube channel here. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button. We'd appreciate that. And there's going to be a postgame show as well with Gene Williams and Tom Lang of JCS fame. So pregame, 1:30 p.m. up until kickoff, and then probably about 10 minutes after Florida State's decisive victory over Georgia Tech, postgame show. So we've got you covered front to back on that. Tom Lang came over to the Midtown offices so that I could give him a bit of a crash course of how to run all these systems. And I guess at some point I mentioned on the show not too long ago, Corey, that I'm a big fan of Cape Cod kettle chips, but specifically their white cheddar and sour cream reduced fat chips, because your boy's, his body's a temple, and we watch what we put in our bodies here. Obviously. Apparently, I don't know if Tom's pulling my leg, but Tom showed up to do the training here at the Midtown offices with some party favors in the form of a bag with 3 bags of Cape Cod chips. Apparently, someone who listens to our show dropped off the bags of chips at the radio station and was like, hey, I don't know how to get a hold of the Aslan guy, but if somebody here can, please give him these chips. It's crazy. Thank you, whoever that is. Good man.
That is nice. That is nice. I like porterhouses. I love porterhouses. That's probably my favorite thing to snack on, is just a big old hunk of a porterhouse, and lobster tails too. I love lobster tails. So again, if anybody wants to drop things off for Corey, if you want to give Tom Lang some porterhouses and lobster and tell him to, hey, give this to Corey when you see him, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's nice. People are nice, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned through this show. People are nice.
People are very nice. Thank you, everybody. I've also been scrolling through the all-time rosters from Florida State. I do not see a number 2 since Samari Roll. I think he might have been.
Yeah, I think they straight up retired it. Like that's one of the few that is actually retired where you can't wear it. It's like 17 and what are the other ones? 34. You can't wear those.
Yeah, that's right.
All the other ones are retired jerseys, right? But you can still wear them. Yeah. But I think 2 and 34 and 17 are retired numbers.
There we go. Check this out. Ira's column, strong column. John_Reed. His reply, sorry for playing devil's advocate here, but this column is pretty bold, and I think a year or 2 early. And I quote you, Ira, but even if this offense struggles at times, I feel, Ira Schofel, confident in saying that coaching won't be part of the problem. To me, this comment takes huge balls to write at this time, says John_Reed. And he provides some more reasoning, but you can find that out over on warchant.com's Tribal Council. How about that? Ira Schofel, I feel confident saying that coaching won't be part of the problem. Why is he taking shots at my boy James Blackman? It's going to be all right, Ira. Believe.
Well, yeah, but the point is valid in the sense that you have to believe after a year or 2 they will have an offensive line in place that they can work with, and maybe they have it already. But certainly by 2021, 2022, they'll have an offensive line in place that they can work with and plan for, and then also a quarterback that they can work with and believe in. Maybe that's Blackman. Again, Blackman's still just a junior, and is going to be a junior next year. So, again, they might have Blackman until 2023. I understand Ira's point there, is that, but I agree with him, man. I have full faith in the offensive coaching staff to turn this into a productive offense. These guys just have done it everywhere. They know what they're doing. They scheme well. They scheme up things well, and they will recruit to their strengths or recruit guys that have specific strengths they're looking for. Right now, when you take over a roster that you haven't crafted, you're kind of just having to you're having to sometimes put square pegs in round holes. I think they have a lot of round pegs, though. That's the one thing they have on this football team. More on defense than offense. But again, you've got some talent on offense for sure. And so some of those pegs are round and they can fit into a round hole. all that nicely, if you know what I'm saying, Aslan. That sounded, just trust me, I wasn't being crass or juvenile with that comment.
Yeah, no one can hear anything because the ponies are galloping along. It's time for Renegade Express, Corey. Let's get to it. Sabaxley 12-12, Corey, Aslan, 4 ellipses. Wake up! We actually made it. There were days in the summer and even last month that it seemed doubtful that we would actually be playing, but here we are. The Marching Chiefs will be in the stands, referees will be on the field, and Doak will be rocking with 12,000 strong. Looking back at the former coach, the astute Professor Hajavandi said he noticed the big difference at preseason practices that something just was not right. For some, it took Virginia Tech. For me, Sabaxley 12-12, it was the game at Notre Dame before I came to the conclusion that Willie just wasn't right fit at FSU. With all that happened with all that happened this year, slow down, Aslan. How much of a pass does Norvell get before we begin to wonder if he is the right guy? I think he has the stuff together and that the sky's the limit for him at FSU. He says the right things, pays attention to details, and puts the right pieces in the right place to succeed. But I felt that extremely optimistic about the former staff before they played a game. What say you? Go Noles. Well, let's forget about the other guy. Let's focus on this. The question was, with all that happened this year, how much of a pass does Norvell get before we begin to wonder if he is the right guy? Man, don't lose against Georgia Tech. I don't see that happening, but man, if you lost to Georgia Tech, woof. Woof.
Well, again, it also, I know you don't want to hear this because it's a 2-10 Georgia Tech team, but if it's a bunch of fluky plays, what if Blackman throws 2 pick sixes and is a blocked punt or something, but you outgain him by 300 yards? There's ways you can lose a game where you feel better than the opener 2 years ago, when it was just complete head butting a wall and nothing was adjusted and nothing got better and it just evolved into chaos. If that happens against Georgia Tech, lowly Georgia Tech, then yeah, man, you have a right to worry. But I get it. You're going to wonder right away as soon as he loses a game. The first loss, whether it's Georgia Tech, Miami, Notre Dame, or Clemson, whenever that first loss comes, people are going to question whether he's the right guy. But he is the guy. So you can question it all you want. They're not going to be paying 2 different dudes not to coach their football team. Yeah. So Norvell's here for the long haul unless he's good enough that the NFL comes and swoops him up, which would be a good problem to have. But I don't, as far as a pass goes, man, I don't know. That is something you do have to qualify some things in the sense that he did not get the spring
absolutely
to build his culture, and you can say that nobody else got their spring either, and I get that. But the kids at Georgia Tech played a full season and had a full spring practice in 2019 with Jeff Collins, and then played a full spring or a full season with him. So they've been in that culture for 15 months. Like 20 months now. These guys have been in the culture for 30 practices, 25 practices. So it is different. That said, he also has a bunch, not a bunch, but a good many NFL players on his roster too. And this is your job, man. You get paid a lot of money, and he is getting paid a lot of money. Maybe not relatively to other coaches in the Power 5, but he is getting paid a lot of money, more than Jeff Collins, to win football games. And he's got enough talent on this roster to win some football games this year, whether they've completely bought in or not. But, I'm not going to sit here and say, man, if they go 3-8, you know what? He's taking over a program that's in disarray, and he had a pandemic to deal with. No, man, that's a bad sign.
No,
if they go 3-8.
If he looks like 2018, he's going to end up just like Willie Taggart. Like, listen, there's nothing personal against Willie. If Mike Norvell's team looks the way that this team did in 2018, I will be every bit as critical of Mike Norvell as I was Willie Taggart. That being said, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Like, I do not foresee 59-10 against Clemson. I do not foresee. I mean, obviously they're not going to play Florida, but again, we never talk about the fact that everything was on the line against Florida, and they looked horrible against Florida, at least in the second half.
2 years ago, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were awful. They were awful against it. Other than when they got up after DJ Matthews' punt return against Miami, they've been just completely just crushed and annihilated by their 3 rivals. Just not even competitive. Just straight up quit. essentially 3 games in a row against their rival, 5 games in a row against their rivals.
Yeah, he's going to get a pass. I'm going to give him probably more. I'm going to give him more room to operate than I did Willie. And it's not because some reasons that people want to throw out there. I do think he's inherited something on much more shaky ground than Willie inherited. I also think the pandemic affects things. I think the lack of having a spring affects things. But there is nuance here. We can make a bit of an apples to oranges comparison on how we're going to see these guys in year one. But I'll be mindful of some of the things that Mike Norvell has to deal with that Willie did not have to deal with. So I would say I'm probably going to give him more latitude than Willie. But if he does look every bit as bad as Willie, I probably will not. I don't know. Is that saying?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know if they come out and lose to Georgia Tech by 21 points like Willie did, or score it. Their first 2 ACC games in 18.
I probably will say what the hell's
touchdown.
going on. If they lose 28-3, I'll be like, what did we just see? What did we just witness, Corey?
You would be number one stunned, but you would also be really worried that he did not get his message across, or maybe he's in over his head. I do not think either one of those things, but I think if that happened, people would be well within their rights to think that. Just like if they go down to Miami and get beat by 4 or 5 touchdowns, I think people will be well within their rights to think, oh man, this isn't good. I would just point out that Jimbo Fisher's second game as a head coach, he got embarrassed. Like Oklahoma ran them off the field and could have scored 100 points if they wanted to that day in Norman. They only didn't because Stoops was on the sideline or in the press box on the other sideline, or they might have scored 80. So that said, I'm not going to put too much stock in one game or the first loss or the second loss. Again, it was, if you remember, guys, throughout much of 2018, I kept kind of trying to qualify Willie's failures. Like, look, he did take over a bad program. His second years have always been better than his first years. You have to give him time. And, then you saw the Boise State game, and then you saw the meltdowns against Louisiana Monroe, and you realize, okay, this isn't happening. Plus, he was coaching a man down. Plus, he had voluntarily coaching. He had a special teams coach in name only, but he had divvied up special teams to all of his assistants. They all had a role to play in special teams because you could tell it just didn't matter that much to him. He had to fire and hire an offensive line coach in 2 years. He had to hire another OC. His defensive coordinator hire was a train wreck and a disaster after he made him switch to a 3-4. There were all these things that Willie lost the benefit of the doubt on top of the losses. If Norvell is doing everything right, we think, and running a good program that's making strides, and they're still losing games, I think that might be a little different. That said, he ain't getting much of a pass if he loses by 21 to Georgia Tech.
Yeah. No, this will not be a happy show on Monday, but it's not going to happen. I feel bad. We just talked 10 minutes about something that's not going to happen.
That's right. You're right. Why are we even talking about that? Why are we entertaining it?
I don't know. I'm sorry. We like Sabaxley 1212. If it was somebody else, I probably would have just skipped over it. Speaking of people we like, Big Steve 022. What's up, fellas? We made it. Man, I'm excited. I know you guys have probably talked about this before, but after all the interviews with players and coaches, what are you most excited to see on Saturday about the gameplay? What on offense and defense do you need to see that maybe, just maybe, Norvell and crew are right for the job? Also, side note, my son has to go down to Birmingham Friday to check out some more stuff with his heart, so prayers appreciated, as always.
Absolutely.
Go Noles. Yeah, good vibes to you, Big Steve 022, and that battler of a son you got there. Keep battling, guy. Birmingham, Magic City, good things will happen. I feel good about it. Okay, what are we most excited to see on Saturday? What about the gameplay? Man, just maybe not false starting when you're on the 1 yard line. That'd be a good start.
Yeah, again though, that kind of goes back to what we've been seeing. We don't have to talk about the former staff that much. I am and I guess I'm about to, but I am excited to see a different kind of defense. One that you can, be proud of. Like they're not going to be the 85 Bears. They're not going to be the 13 Seminoles. They're not going to probably even be the 15 Seminoles. But I do think they're going to hit you. I do think they're going to play hard. I do think they're going to make it hard at times to just mosey on down the field. So I think I'm interested in seeing that. I'm interested to see how hard they play. Because that's the one thing you always hear about Norvell's teams is how passionate, how hard, how much energy they bring to these games. And we haven't seen that from a Florida State defense in a good long while. So I do want to see that. I also want to see, this is more of a vague answer, or a broad answer, But how they respond to adversity, man. This team for years now, when they face adversity, they fall into a hole and just kind of devolve into chaos and madness and just a puddle. And I want to see James Blackman, because he's going to have a bad throw. I know you guys probably don't believe that, but there's going to be a play on Saturday where you're like, James, come on, man, make that throw. That's there. And he's going to know that. Maybe he misses a touchdown. Maybe he throws it right to a linebacker. I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to have a bad play or a bad series. How is he going to respond, man? That's going to say a lot about how 2020 is going to go, in my opinion, is how he responds and how the coaching staff responds around him. Do they call something quick and easy for him to maybe get back into a rhythm? Do they play to his strengths better than maybe other coaching staffs have? That's another thing I'm really interested to see.
Thanks, Corey. I don't know. I'm excited to see how the place kickers look. I mean, you went ahead and took all the good answers. So
sorry, buddy. Hey, let's see
how
how
Mastromanno punts the ball. Yeah, let's see how Mastromanno punts the ball.
Hopefully he doesn't punt a lot, right?
Yeah, hopefully we don't see much of him. I just want to see James not have his first read open and see. That's what I'm waiting to see. Like, first read is not there. What then happens? Does he throw it away? Does he scramble away nicely, or does he still have that kind of confused, buffering, processing it in my mind look that he just gets? I mean, that's we've seen it, 3 seasons where he gets that kind of that hesitation that I don't know where to go now, and then something bad usually happens. It'd be nice to see him just kind of know where to go on the second read in the progression, know to throw it away, maybe even don't keep the ball on a read option or an RPO, and hand off or keep it and run like the wind, James.
I also can't wait to see. You also can't wait to see what I look like in this wig.
That too. Have you procured it yet, or is it on its way?
That's later on today. That's later on today on Thursday. We are that is going to be what I do. I'm going to go to the store. I might be in there for an hour, breathing on everything. Okay. But I'm going to come out with a mask. I wonder if they let you, or a mask. Well, I definitely will come out with a mask. I'll go in with a mask. But I come out with a wig, and I wonder if they let you try them on.
Yeah,
it probably isn't the right climate and time to be asking to try on wigs and putting them on my sweaty head.
If you go to one of those Halloween party stores, they're just in a bag. You just pull them out. I mean, they're like in a Ziploc bag. You just open it, put it on, put it back in there. You're fine.
All right. Okay, good.
D Wolf 1. Hey, guys. Can't wait for the game this weekend. It has been a long year, a long journey for the sports industry, but excited to see our Noles in action Saturday. I have not had time to catch all of the interviews from the coaches and players, but has Coach Norvell talked or been asked about what the atmosphere at Doak will be like this weekend? I know we are disappointed where things currently stand, but was just wondering if deep down he is disappointed that his first time running out of the tunnel as FSU's head coach, that the stadium will not be hyped, loud, and a capacity crowd is not doing the war chant. I know publicly he will say he is thankful they are playing, as we all are, but just wondering if he is quietly disappointed. DW from DAB. Go Noles. That's
man. How could you not be?
I don't think he cares all that.
No,
much,
but I mean, and I don't know what the crowd would have been like for Georgia Tech, even if there was no COVID. Like, I don't know, probably 60, 65,000. But just the pageantry of that stadium. And, you're a guy that played at Central Arkansas, coached at Arizona State, which, whatever, great. And then coached at Memphis, where he did some great things, but those crowds were 41,000. And then you get to one of the places in college football, and I bet you feel like you're a little gypped that you don't get to experience what every other coach that's coached here. Willie Taggart got to experience it. Remember his Monday night debut? The place was rocking. Hey, he had 60,000 for the spring game. And so I feel like Norvell probably feels like he's a little gypped. But he would never say that publicly. And yes, I think the overriding emotion by far will be he's happy they're playing. You know what I mean? I think that will be the overriding emotion, and he's still going to get to see Renegade and Osceola. So yeah, and he'll get to hear the war chant some. It just it'll be a little different.
No, man, the way he's wired, he doesn't care, and that's why we have a good coach.
Come on. He cares a little.
No, come on, man.
Come on. Of course
Really,
he cares.
You think he dreamed, I can't win. There's 80,000 people. He wants this. The job is the job. The paycheck's the paycheck.
Yeah, but you still, of course, but it's my job too. I'm going to be in that press box, and I'll be like, man, this is different. This isn't as cool as what normally a season opener feels like. I'm not saying it's going to affect the way he coaches, or it's going to feel like if they win, he's going to feel like empty. I'm just saying there's going to be a little tiny part of him, just like Odell, who's done it for 35 years. He's been coming out of that tunnel. It's going to feel a little different to him too. But they'll still accept the win. They're still going to play hard. He's still going to coach like Mike Norvell coaches.
P:07, is there going to be rushing, passing, punting, score, etc. predictions, and those closest get a Zaxby's card? Yes, we'll do over-under tomorrow.
Oh, all right, good.
We'll have the Williams Sportsbook cook it up. I have a question, though, he says, or she possibly. What are your two's takes on fall camp regarding process, time management, etc.? Though 2020 camp has been limited or even no access at times as compared to those of Jimbo's and Willie's. So what are our takes on fall camp regarding process and time management as compared to Jimbo and Willie? I mean, we don't really have anything to compare it to, so it's a whole different deal. Like, I'm sure most of their classes are online.
A lot of their meetings have been on Zoom. I think time management is a whole different ballgame in 2020 than it was in 2018, just for now anyway. But we don't. I don't know.
When we saw those 3 spring practices, Corey, one of the things he always pointed out was that
is he talking about like the time management in the practice?
I'm guessing you always talked about you thought there was maybe too much standing around. Going on. I think that
there absolutely was. And at Jimbo there was not. Jimbo had, again, he had the 1s and 3s on one field and the 2s and the 4s on the other, and they were filming everything. I don't think Norvell's doing that, but it is quick, it is fast paced, and a lot of players are getting reps. And no, there was a lot of standing around. The first practice we watched of Willie Taggart, there was very little standing around with a Mike Norvell. It's just a different energy, man. It's just a different energy, and it starts with him. They're different guys, and I'm not saying Willie Taggart's approach did work at other places to an extent, but they are completely different guys. He is marching around like a pacing bull, back and forth. Not Willie, but Mike Norvell, going from group to group, field to field, barking instructions. It just has a different energy and pace, and they do not stand around, and they do not waste a lot of time, and they do not waste a lot of energy with half-assed drills. I don't know how else to put it. I don't mean to curse. I apologize, but I don't know how else to put it.
Ball security is probably going to be a little bit better too, I think.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Corey. Mad AMCZ. Wake up! I don't know about you guys, but I expect the Noles to come out flying, playing with passion, energy, discipline. If we see that, I'm not so concerned about the final score as long as we get the W and we see the change that Norvell's staff and players have been talking about for 10 months. Here's some over-under for you boys. Winner between Aslan and Corey gets a dozen Titleist golf balls. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Nice.
A present for us. All right. So you'll go first, and then I'll go, and then we'll alternate. So first one, you go first, Corey. James Blackman passing yards over under 270.
Under.
I'm going to hammer the over.
Okay.
Over. FSU rushing yards 145. Over. No.
Yeah,
under.
I guess I'll go over for that. Yeah, I'll go over for that.
Okay.
Yep.
I hope you're keeping track of this, Adam. I'm not. It matters to me, but I'm not writing it down. Tamorian Terry touchdowns 1.5 over under, Corey.
Over.
Yeah, same. Georgia Tech total offense 325 yards. Man, I said they're going to score 17 points, 325 this day and age. I don't even know who I saw their offensive coordinator's name. I've never heard of them before. I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to say over. I mean, 320 is not a lot. I know they don't have very good quarterback play unless Jeff Sims is the real deal right out of the gate. But again, you're talking about a defense that's used to giving up four bills easily. So to then go to 3 bills in their first game, I'm I'm glass half empty here. I'm more of a pessimist here, but I'm going to say over on the total yards for Georgia Tech.
Could you imagine if Jeff Sims came in here and lit up Florida State?
Well, wouldn't that just be the way things go?
Oh, gosh.
Wouldn't just be the way things go.
Nightmare. FSU penalty 7.5. See, I don't like the implication of this because Florida State led the nation in penalties or was close to it the last few years, and we keep talking about how disciplined and detail-oriented this staff is, and we're talking about how great they are. Like, listen, they're gonna punt the ball. They're going to have penalties. They're going to surrender first downs. These things are going to happen. It's a first game. I guess people want to think that this would be indicative of just how disciplined this program is if they're able in a first game amidst all these distractions to come out there and play a clean game.
I'm going to say over.
Yeah, I'll say over.
It's a roster that's used to committing 10 or 11 a game, and it's hard to wipe that clean in 1 week. I mean, I know he's had some 8 months to work with him, but yeah, man, it's still in there. It's still in the DNA a little bit. I don't know that you can just wash it away like that. I think you're going to get a personal foul you might not enjoy. Some false starts even a little bit. I would be surprised if they all come out of the gates with like 2 penalties for 15 yards. Plus, it's an ACC crew. So, come on, guys. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Georgia Tech turnovers 2.5. I'm going to take the under. I'll take 2.
I'm taking the over. I'm going to see a fumble. I want to see a strip sack by our man Can Do.
Yeah.
And then a pick early and then a pick late to seal it.
And here he goes. He's using my score prediction from a week ago. Combined total score 44.5. Over under.
Over. I think it's going to be I keep saying 30-17 is my prediction, so I'm going to go over. It's a good number though.
Yeah. I said 27-17, so that's 44, so I'll take the under. The under. All right, there we go. You can mail those Titleist golf balls to me here at the Midtown offices.
Either way, and I'll pick them up.
Captain D _63. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Parentheses, wake up. You read different numbers in each stadium, I guess, according to the conference. Louisville, 30% capacity. So with that being said, they're going to have around 30,000 in their stadium, which I don't know way.
No, that's not. Yeah, no, Louisville doesn't seat 90,000.
Yeah. Florida State is going to have 20 to 25%. Basically, his question here is, why can't FSU have around 30% capacity or 30 to 35,000 fans? We should be able to have 35,000 in Doak and be able to distance and have plenty of room. What say you? His score prediction, 38-10, Florida State. We come out guns a-blazing.
Yeah, man, that's going to be the Norvell year. I'm telling you, a 28-point win to start it out against a conference team. Woo. When's the last time he beat a conference team by 4 touchdowns? Yeah, no, I think 20 to 25% is a good number. Yeah. We'll see what it looks like in October, November. Maybe we're at 50% by then. I'm just happy, my ex-wife and my son will be in the crowd, so I like it that it's a little less crowded. And Shannon will do a good job if there's people around. She'll go up to the nosebleeds if she has to get away from people. But I think if you're looking at, well, heck, man, I don't know. You're outdoors. If you're sitting 6 feet away from each other, 2 rows away, who knows? I don't know what that. I can't do the math to tell you what that number should be. Smarter people than me have come up with the number of 20 to 25. But again, that's about what Louisville is going to be. If they're 30% of, Louisville can't seat more than 60, right?
Yeah.
So 30% of 60, you're looking at like 17,000 fans, 18,000 fans. So that's about what Florida State will be, spread out over an 80,000 seat stadium. And I don't even know if it's 80,000 anymore. Is it because of the Champions Club?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many actual middle bleacher seats there are anymore. But there's going to be a lot of space. It's going to be spread out. Half the band isn't going to be there, apparently, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's I don't know the difference really between 21,000 and 28,000.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. And I don't know where we're kind of going with this discussion. They're going to allow people in the stadium. That's great as it is. And if you want a ticket, you on the secondary market, there's plenty available. Cheapest one currently $71. So it's not as if.
Oh, so does that mean I owe you? What do you owe me? $6?
I thought we were doing it for the Miami game, but we can do it for
Oh,
this one.
okay. Yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah, your Miami game. You're right. How are we looking on that one? Have you checked that front lately?
I have not, because I just put in Florida State, so it pulls up our home game.
Yeah, I think just 20 to 25% is more of a, I don't know, nice round. Like 25%, it's a quarter of what you're normally around. Like that, to me, that makes more sense than 30 or 35%. Those just seem like random numbers. I guess 25 is random too. Who knows, man? Again, there are some schools that, like Navy, didn't have anybody there, and apparently Navy didn't practice football for the last month either. So, of course, why have people there? So it's better than nothing. Could it be more? Sure. But yeah, I think you're taking. You hope that they take baby steps, and maybe by the Clemson game, if things have keep trending downwards. Although who knows with the pictures you see from Labor Day in Tallahassee with the students. But if things keep trending downwards with the numbers, maybe by the Clemson game, they'll have half capacity. We can hope.
Right now, $91, cheapest Miami Florida State ticket currently.
Okay, so that's $26 you owe me right now.
Whatever, man.
You want to send it now, or do you want it?
You were saying, it's going to be hundreds of dollars to get into the game. I'm like, yeah, man, like $65.
All right. Well, I feel like I still won the bet.
Also, to this point, and we'll pivot. Oh, I haven't said pivot in a while. Thank God. Good job, Aslan. I've been trying to find, and try too hard of a job to find, but I did see somebody tweet earlier on, I don't know what day we're recording this, on Wednesday, for you folks who enjoy on Thursday. This is what the SEC is doing. Everyone's doing 20 to 25%. So, it is what it is. Taz Love Knowles explains it nicely in a response. He says that he actually was in the stadium on Tuesday looking at the seat back setup. The stadium will be good with the social distance and look fairly full, and people should be safe. This is the first game. There are many moving parts. They might move to increase things later in the season if the spread decreases some more. Yeah, I would think so.
There you go. There we go.
Well, I think that's probably some conjecture, but yeah, I'd imagine if we can keep this stuff under control, by the time Duke rolls into town, or we go to Duke. Dang it. Of course. We always get hosed.
Right.
Garnett,
that snake pit.
Garnett 76. That's the last question of the day, by the way, Corey. I got a late start on posting the thread. I apologize. Maybe I'll leave it open and we can do something.
Yeah, we could answer a few more tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, hey guys, following up on the Austin Peach here you were discussing recently, I have a good story for you. I used to work with a Notre Dame grad, and he told me about one year when the Irish played Southern Cal and Navy on consecutive weeks. He told me Notre Dame students were cheering, "Bust the Trojans, bring on the Seamen. Stay well.
Okay.
Let's go Noles."
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's a wordy chant.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I wonder if that was the Roger Staubach days. Like, nobody cares anymore if you're playing Navy. Yeah. But back in the 60s, Navy was a real deal, and you're like, all right, let's. Well, I'm not going to say it, but you would bust and then bring on the Seamen.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The thing about the Navy, though, Aslan, is they're also flyboys.
That's right.
Maverick was in the Navy.
He was.
Goose was in the Navy, R.I.P. They saw that MiG together. Iceman's in the Navy. Slider. All the greats from the 80s, they were Navy boys. So you always think of Navy guys being on boats. But I guess our best pilots are Navy pilots.
Well, Marines, I think Marines are technically part of the naval forces as well. So, Joker, Rafterman.
That's right. In Marines like Navy because anytime they have to go fight a war, they give them a ride. That's a line from A Few Good Men.
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland tells that. I think Tom Cruise asked him why he has a problem with the Navy. He goes, "I love the Navy. Every time we go have to fight, you give us a ride." Yeah. So yeah, where you go? It's all happening. Those were movies from the mid '80s and early '90s, folks. If you're too young to have seen A Few Good Men, you should stop listening to this and go. Well, no, you should go eat Zaxby's and then go watch A Few Good Men because that's a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very well. We will reconvene.
I did it.
We did it. Was there anything else to talk about from Wednesday's comments? We will not be speaking to Coach Norvell later today. Wednesday's the last day we'll speak to the team.
He didn't seem to be in a great mood, did he?
No, not particularly.
like part of me was wondering, like, man, did they have a terrible practice? Did he get some bad news? Because again, Wednesday is, that's me being a pessimist. Wednesday is a test day. He was not as talkative as he normally is. He was not gregarious. Not that he's a gregarious guy anyway by nature, but kind of short and to the point. Seemed a little upset, but it also seemed like maybe they didn't have a great practice. Is the vibe I was getting. But again, I was reading into it. He didn't say that. He said it was a good work day.
It's always
but didn't say it was a great practice.
Corey, you're right. I did feel a little bit of that. But here's the thing. They got another day of practice. We've got another day of doing a show. So we'll be back tomorrow. Corey just wants to let everybody know that he loves you all. I'm Aslan. Thanks for listening. We'll catch up with you all tomorrow.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.